So I wanted to talk about, oh, it's cold in here. So you've read the books, you've heard the testimonials, and you've learnt all about raw food, and you want to give it a go. So how do you go about this? Well, I see it as kind of like two ways. You can either kind of go raw vegan overnight, or you can do it in more of a transitional kind of style. And this is kind of dependent on what your current diet and lifestyle is like now. So if you're kind of still eating a lot of processed foods, if you aren't eating a plant-based diet, if you are not eating a whole food plant-based diet, and yeah, you're still heavy on the meat, dairy, eggs, maybe you smoke a lot, maybe you drink a lot, maybe you've taken quite a lot of extra kind of recreational drugs and things, then I would not recommend going raw overnight. And this is just because when you do go raw, your body will start to clear everything out. It will start to flush out all the toxins that you've been putting in your body over the years. And this will be quite hard to manage if you are quite kind of heavy on toxins at the moment. It'll be the amount that you try and clear out at one time might be quite overwhelming and might make you feel quite ill. So I would, for those people, recommend a more transitional approach. And for people who maybe you're eating, been eating a whole food plant-based diet for quite a long time, you don't really take a lot of other toxins, maybe you've reduced your chemical input, like you don't really use shampoos and body creams and all that other stuff which has all the toxins in it, like random harmful chemicals. And yeah, for those people, yeah, I would say you're kind of at that point, yeah, push to raw vegan if you want to. But for the other people who are coming from more of a standard diet, or yeah, the more mainstream kind of diet, then I would recommend a more transitional approach. And for this transitional approach, first of all, I recommend going vegan. And this is kind of part the diet and then part of the other stuff as well, the ethical implements, because I think it's so important to everybody's personal growth to actually go vegan as an ethical point, and to stop kind of contributing to the harm of the environment and stop contributing to the suffering of innocent animals. And that's just included on top of the fact that meat, dairy and eggs is very harmful for you. So yeah, I urge people to kind of learn about veganism, plus learning about veganism and learning about why it's not okay to do that to the animals and why it's not okay to do it to the environment helps so much with you staying on board with the plant-based lifestyle. And it stops you wanting those products as well. Like, for example, when I went vegan, I used to love yogurts, these low-fat yogurts that I was having. I'd have one like every day or several a day. And yeah, when I went vegan, I could not even eat it anymore. Like, it made me feel sick, the thought of eating it, because I learned about the horrors of the dairy industry. And it's that sort of thing. It will help keep you on board and give you a stronger stance in your beliefs and in your food choices. And it's just an all-round better thing for your personal development and to help the world around you. So I urge people to go vegan, and to just learn about that and spend some time, spend months and months if you need to, just learning about the ethics, learning about veganism, learning about the food, opening your eyes, opening your heart to what is going on in the world situation. And this will help you, because this isn't just about changing what you're putting in your body. This is about changing everything. This is about tweaking all the little bits, because it's all connected. You can't just change the diet and then still be kind of hurting other things in other areas of your life. It's not going to help you grow as a person. It's not going to help the world. We're all connected, and if you want to better yourself, you have to think about what your choices are doing to the world around you. And this will spill out in all areas of your life and just help you holistically and help the world at the same time, because it's all connected. So that's the first thing, and it's getting that connection back to the planet, getting that connection back to other living beings, and opening your heart and opening your mind to everything that's going on. And after someone's gone vegan, then I start to, you tweak the little bits of what you're eating there. So maybe when you're going vegan, you've kind of switched over to some more kind of meat substitutes and things like that. And these are very processed foods. They're not really health foods. They're just kind of substitutes which is great for it's not hurting the animals, and it may be better for the planet, and but it's not going to be that beneficial to your health. And a lot of people, they go vegan, they get some health benefits, but it never really improves, and it's largely because they're eating a lot of processed. And so after that, I would recommend kind of reducing your process, going more of a whole foods plant-based diet. Although I don't personally recommend processed meats and things like that straight away. Like you don't have to have them. I never had them. I never substituted for my meat stuff. I went from vegan to a whole food vegan diet. I didn't, have all the kind of the substitutes in the middle. I think the only substitute I had was for a little while where I had plant-based milk, but that was it. So you don't even have to include those. That's just if maybe you have really bad cravings for stuff. It's just better to do that for the animals and things. Yeah, and then just push on to a whole food plant-based diet. And this is things like you can be including legumes and beans, and just basically getting all the processed stuff out. So we're kind of just upgrading the diet from, say, for example, you're having like a spaghetti bolognese with soy and mince and maybe like some vegan corn pieces or something like that, and we're going to upgrade that and make you a sauce out of maybe beans, or maybe just out of more fresh fruits and more fresh vegetables and things. So we're just having those little tweaks, and maybe taking it from a jar, adding a jar of sauce to you making your homemade sauce, and getting your kind of maybe the chocolates and the cakes out, and bringing in more like nut and fruit and nut bars and things like that, and just tweaking it, kind of upgrading the little bits, taking what you love at that moment and just making it a whole food plant-based version. And then I'm kind of taking out the oil as well, so lowering the fat content. We're taking out all the salt and kind of putting in the sodium from natural sources. We're taking out the processed sugar and adding in the natural sugars from fruits in their whole form. Just taking out the processed things and adding it more whole foods. And after we do that, then we start to incorporate a lot more raw food. So you can do this at any point, like just incorporate some food. Start having fruit as snacks more. Start maybe like having some smoothies, maybe some fresh fruit juices in the morning. And by fresh fruit juices, I mean like, yeah, the fresh ones, the fresh green juices, like vegetable juices. Just as like a supplement to your whole food plant-based diet. And then what we'll do is, and then I will suggest you kind of you start incorporating the raw even more. So what you do after that point is you start to just, so after that point you start to have raw meals. So maybe your breakfast will be a raw meal, and then lunch and dinner will be cooked, and with a bit of raw here and there, like a big salad, like then up your salads with your dinners and stuff. So you're not just having like a big plate of pasta, you're having like half a plate of pasta, half a plate of raw fruits and vegetables, like, like a big salad with that. So you're just kind of upping the raw. Maybe you're having a raw sauce with some cooked pasta or cooked potatoes or something. So like I've got recipes for raw sauces. You could maybe even just take out the fruit, because I don't think the fruit might not combine very well with starchy things. But for example, my mango sauce recipe or my papaya sauce recipe, you could just take out the mango, or take out the fruit, and use that sauce for your potatoes and have like a nice sauce with them, or on your pasta. I did that for my daughter once before. I made her a pasta sauce recipe when we were like in our more transitional stage, and I gave her a raw sauce with it. So it wasn't like, from a jar, and it wasn't cooked, it was a raw sauce. So she was having all that power of raw with her pasta, and pouring the raw sauce on top of the hot pasta as well just warms it all through, and you don't even notice that it's anything else. So, and there's loads of different recipes you can do for that. So yeah, it's just those little tweaks. So you're adding these raw meals. Maybe you're having a smoothie as a meal, and then after that you're gonna eat more and more and more raw until you've pushed out the cooked, basically, until you don't feel like you need it anymore. And at the same time, what we're doing is I recommend increasing your greens hugely. So having at least one smoothie a day full of greens, like maybe a head or two of lettuce. And if you don't really like the taste of green smoothies, there is a few things you can do to help that. Like, for example, you can just work up to it. So you can start with a handful and add a bit more, add a bit more, add a bit more. And another thing is make sure you're getting a good recipe. Because if you just add, like, some recipes taste disgusting, and if you don't have enough sweet fruit in there, then it's not going to taste very nice. So if you're just doing like one with berries and you've got a few bananas and then loads of water and lettuce, that's going to be gross. Even I wouldn't drink that. So what you want to be doing is it's got to have enough sweet fruit in there. So if you're going to do bananas, have a decent amount of bananas, not too much water, and the berries are just to kind of add something to it, but they're not going to be the base of it because they're not very sweet. So they add a bit of flavour, but they should be the bulk of it, really, in my opinion. It's better to add a lot more sweet fruits, and you want to get the calories in as well. Like, you don't want to just be having berries for a meal and then you're feeling really lightheaded and ill and you're going, oh, raw food makes me feel gross, and you're like, well, you're not actually eating enough. You know, because if you were having like a cooked meal, you'd have had maybe like 500 plus calories from that meal, and that's what you should be having from your fruit meals as well. You know, a couple of apples or a couple of oranges is not going to be sufficient. You need to be having calories from your meal, and the best way to do that is with the sweet juicy fruits, well, sweet ripe fruits. And so soak dates if you want to put some dates into your smoothies, and add bananas and add like a touch of water. It doesn't need to be a lot of water unless you're adding dates, which need a bit more water, but you can kind of work out and adjust things. It's always easy to kind of not add enough water and then top it all up, but every kind of recipe usually requires, if you're using dates and bananas, I mean, they usually require like maybe a small cup of water or half a cup of water. So that's where I would start with, and then maybe just add a bit more until you've got your desired taste, really. With dates, yeah, you can add a lot more. So depending on how dry they are and whether you've soaked them and whatever. So yeah. And so try and add the smoothies and add the greens, because honestly, greens are your friend. Greens are amazing. They really do help with cooked food cravings. They just get rid of them so well in my experience with them. And so yeah, fresh green juices are amazing if you can get them in. Adding the greens to your smoothies, work your way up to maybe like 2 heads of lettuce in each smoothie, maybe like 200 grams of, like, that's about 200 grams I think of like spinach and things like that, just in one smoothie. And then you're having evening meal with a huge salad. Maybe you can start making some of the raw salads here and there that I've like got recipes to, and up on my page, which is on Facebook, Happy on Fruit. And just start incorporating those raws until eventually you haven't even got hardly any cooked in there anymore, and you're like, right, I might as well just push the raw to completely raw. And that's where we kind of are with people who are going overnight and people who are doing it transitionally. It's at this point where you're pushing to that raw, that there is some little extra things that can help you. So when you're doing that last little push, when you've worked your way up to that point, and as well, like the lifestyle factors as well during that transitional stage, like for example, you want to be kind of reducing or completely quitting your smoking. You want to be quitting kind of alcohol and things like that. You can maybe do a little bit here and there. That's your journey, that's up to you. Obviously I recommend wiping out completely. Obviously, like getting enough sleep and things like that, getting enough water, kind of doing some more inner work things as well. But you can try some of the stuff, but I really recommend doing the inner work more when you are raw. Like, do it all beforehand if you want to, but then do it again when you're raw, because it's a lot easier to do when you're raw, I find. And sometimes when I've been doing it with cooked food, I kind of go around in circles when I've been trying to incorporate like self-work stuff. But when I've done it when I'm raw and actually found the right kind of way to do it, like which ones to do first and stuff like that, which is why I made the happiness program, because it puts it all into order of the most efficient way to do inner work. So yeah, you check that out if you want to. After, yeah, doing the kind of some inner work while you're doing that, kind of becoming more aware, really, is what I tend to say to people. Just become aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and also when you're in that transitional stage, to actually just start learning a bit more about raw food if you haven't already. Getting your head around everything, getting your head around why, how it can help you, and also to actually start learning about fruit. Because a lot of people, they come to the raw foods lifestyle and they don't even know what a ripe banana is like, and they eat loads of bananas that are not ripe enough. They start getting terrible digestive issues, and they again start feeling really ill, and it's just because they're not eating the fruit the way it's supposed to be eaten. So start learning about the fruit, learning about what the calorie content is of it, start learning about what nutrients are in it, start learning about how when it's ripe and when it's in season, and just learning all the different things about it, how to pick good ones, and just start exploring this world, because it is really important, like, to know like how many calories are in each fruit. Not that you don't need to know it off by heart, but it's just important to know which ones are higher in calories, which ones are lower in calories, so that you can kind of adjust, so that you don't sit there and have a meal of like 10 oranges and go, oh, I'm starving, because I literally did that. I had, when I was, and I should have known better, because I knew oranges were low calorie, and I had like a meal of like 10 oranges as a meal, and I was like, oh, I feel really ill now, and like really lightheaded, and it's like, of course, I've barely eaten, like. So yeah, you've got to like learn about what the calorie content, which ones are high in calories, so that you can give yourself a chance at successfully being raw, or successfully eating lots of raw foods. So you don't want to just be under eating all the time, not eating ripe fruit, and just feeling rubbish, or not even liking the fruit, because a lot of people, they try fruit and they go, oh, it's gross. But it's like that. Yeah, I really, really, really don't like unripe papaya. I really don't like unripe banana. But I love bananas and I love papaya when they're ready, when they're ripe. I mean, the sheer definition of unripe is that it is not ready to consume. I mean, the tree, the plant, that doesn't want you to eat the fruit yet, so it makes it gross, So the plant wants you to eat it when it's most nutrient dense for you, when it's ready, and we're in balance with that, and our bodies want it when it's ready. They don't, like, for example, the was it black sapote? They are actually poisonous before they're ripe. So, but when they're ripe, they're delicious. They're called the chocolate pudding dessert. So, even though I think that's because they look like chocolate pudding, not actually taste like it. But one day I will taste it and I'll let you all know. And yeah, like, so you want to have it when it's ripe, basically. So, waffle. My point was that when you do finally get ready to the raw, when you're finally at a state that you want to push to fully raw, then these few tips can help you. Things that I did, that, for example, I had warm water with lemon before every meal, like fresh lemon juice, and this helps to alkalize your body. It basically helps you to digest food a bit better, and it also helps to cleanse your palate. So when you are taking that, it can really help to get rid of old cravings and things like that. And as well as just giving your body a beautiful alkaline push, because lemon's one of the most alkalizing foods you can have. So another thing is enemas, which some people don't like to do, some people do. It's up to you. Do your own research, have a look and see what you think. I was really skeptical about doing them, but they did really help me, because I was very, very bloated. I was very full up in my whole digestive tract, as you can see from old pictures. I will show now. As you can see, my whole bottom half of my belly was just so bloated. It was so compacted with food and waste, and I just, yeah, was not going to the toilet at all. So enemas really helped me to just flush all that old stuff out and to kind of start my body anew kind of thing, and have the fruit and everything to have like a clear pathway to go, basically. So that's really helped me. And also what it can do as well, because if you've got all that old food matter kind of in your digestive system, it can make you feel very, 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 very overwhelmed, which is something you don't want to do, because you want to be starting fresh. You don't want to feel like, oh no, and I've got to learn this about food and that about food and all this, and now I'm trying to do this and this. You don't want to feel overwhelmed. You want to feel fresh and clear and ready for a new start. So that's why enemas are quite nice, and colonics in general, and just general colon cleanses. So they're quite good at the start of your journey, especially. And they also can take away the other cravings, because cravings a lot of the time can come from your gut. And if your gut, and what your gut bacteria is accustomed to. So if your gut bacteria is all accustomed to meat, dairy and eggs, or loads of cooked starches and things like that, then that's what your body's going to start craving. So if you can flush out those old foods and stuff, you can start rebuilding your new gut flora adapted to your raw vegan lifestyle, and that will help you digest food a lot better. It will just help you thrive, and it will help you with cravings. So and then another thing you do is like coffee enemas, which help to actually cleanse your liver. So that helps cleanse the toxins, and that can help you from feeling kind of overrun with toxins and maybe a bit ill from your body clearing stuff out. And they're also, yeah, and general colon cleanses are good for that as well. They clear out all the old toxins to help you get all the old toxins out as well. So, and then as well, when you're raw, start to do some more of the inner work as well, because this will help you overcome any kind of self-sabotaging things that you, kind of mindsets that you have, or any of this, I don't deserve my health, I don't deserve my happiness, that kind of loops in our mind. It helps you overcome that, helps you just be stronger as a person. And as I've said in previous videos, when you go raw, you tend to kind of have old emotions come up. So it's good to have this inner work in place to actually be able to solve them. And for inner work techniques and stuff, I recommend, I've just put up a video, it's a shadow work, which is a technique I learned from Teal Swan that I've adapted with attachment parenting, so that you're your own gentle parent to your own inner child, and it helps with all the kind of old emotions. So I'll put a link here and here about my shadow work, my shadow work adaptation of Teal Swan's. That it's a guided meditation that I talk you all through it. So you can have a look at that, and yeah, just making sure you're getting greens, making sure you're getting your calories, making sure you're having yummy ripe fruit that is, and not having too much fat as well. If you don't want to be hammering the fat, and you want to be kind of looking at you kind of want having the whole juicy fruits, dense to start with. I think, like, have some dense fruits to start with, have lots of smoothies with lots of greens. That's the easy way to get the greens in. To have you really need to get the greens in, and vary your greens as well. So do green rotations. So have some of these greens. Shut the window. So to have like one kind of green in on one day, and then another on another day, or you know, so just kind of make sure you go through them all. So as many different varieties of lettuce as you can, organic if possible. Really do recommend organic greens, because they are just so much better. They're amazing, so nutrient dense and so amazing, and just makes the way I feel after an organic green, compared to how I feel after a conventional one, is just incomparable. Really, it's just so much better with organic. And yeah, just start making sure you've got your kind of all your different greens, all your different nutrients, having an array. Using recipes I've supplied is really helpful. Make sure you're getting those calories, those ripe fruits, and continue enemas if you need to. Do all the inner work. Like I said, maybe start with the denser foods as you go. So maybe like some dates and cucumber date sandwiches that me and my daughter have, and which is just basically 2 slices of cucumber with a date smushed in the middle, and they're lovely, and my daughter loves them. And bananas and things, and maybe moving on to the less dense things as you go through. So maybe not, don't start with just a watermelon for breakfast, a watermelon meal at the beginning, but kind of work your way to that, because sometimes even watermelons can make me feel a bit like cleansed. So yeah, just kind of build yourself up. Don't rush it, because this isn't a I'm going to go raw for a week, lose loads of weight, and then it's not that kind of lifestyle. This is I'm going to work onto this lifestyle, and this is going to be me for the rest of my life. It's a progression. It's not something you want to rush, basically, because this isn't, like I said, it's not just a overnight fix. This is a lifestyle change. This is changing your life. So I hope that's helped you, and wow, that's a long video. I hope that's helped you, and I hope you have a really lovely day. And if you do like this video, please like it, and subscribe for more videos, and share it around if you want to. And what is that, my dear?
It says animals don't like being treated like this.
And what's it a picture of?
Someone, a person that is using a whip to make the horse do tricks, lots and lots of tricks. And
Poor horsey.
And she's saying something kind of in her head, and it says, and she's saying, I wish that person doesn't make me do that trick. If she,
Can you show the picture?
and it makes him feel good about himself.
What, the person who's hurting the animal?
Mhm.
Which animal is it?
A horse.
No. Poor Bubba. Poor Bubba horse. Dragging it.
Tricking it.
Oh, it's tricking the pony.
No. I'm tricking the TV.
No, fair enough.
But he's tricking the pony into thinking he's nice and doing it by accident. But he's doing it on purpose. That's not very nice.
No. Do you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.